Days.
My agenda. I now call the December 5th, 2023 Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:45. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the claims.
Your Honor, I'd like to make the motion to consider of claims to be paid in the amount of $2,792.83, manual checks in the amount of $8,515.85, payroll and liabilities from November 3rd through 17th and December 1st in the amount of $234,772.08 for a total of $2,244,080.76.
I second his motion.
Thank you. Are there any amendments or discussion on the claims? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Is there anything additional that the committee needs to review or to discuss?
Your Honor, I just wanted to draw to your attention claim number 39346. It's on page 9 of the claim approval list. That is a claim for Simon Contractors in the amount of $1,619,432.64, and it is for pay app number 6 for the airport taxiway project. As we've mentioned in previous meetings, this is a grant-funded project where the city pays 2.5% of that. The rest of it is state and federal funding.
Okay.
So you're telling me that we're paying $1 million and that's 2%?
We're paying 2% of the $1 million, 2.5%.
Oh, okay, so we'll be reimbursed.
We will be reimbursed, yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. In that case, if there's no other business, we will adjourn at 6:47.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's red,
Why?
so I can find it.
I'm in it.
Almost
Technically
Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's working.
All right.
That's when they found the balance. Or was
I now call the December 5th, 2023 regular meeting of the Riverton City Council to order at 7 p.m. Councilmember Peranto has agreed to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Bailey then will give us the invocation. I'd ask everyone to stand and please remove your hats.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dearest Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings that we enjoy living here in this beautiful city of Riverton in the state of Wyoming. Please bless all that we do tonight, that we will make decisions that are in the best interest of all of the citizens of Riverton. Please help us to move the city forward and to work on the problems that we have and enjoy the things that we have performed. Please make sure you keep our emergency responders, police, firefighters, all of them safe as they go about doing their duties, protecting us. And please, we ask you to bless us all in the name of your beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Councilmember Bailey and Councilmember Peranto. Would the Administrative Services Director please conduct the roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilwoman Carla Borders.
Here.
Councilwoman Lindsay Cox. Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilman Dean Peranto. Councilman Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilwoman Christy Salisbury.
Here.
And Mayor Tim Hancock.
I'm here. Chair would entertain a motion to excuse Councilwoman Lindsay Cox from tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Larson, second by Councilwoman Borders. Any discussion or amendments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed say nay. Man, everybody just talked all at once and I could not. I vote aye. Motion passes. I declare we do have a quorum. I'd entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda with the removal of agenda item number 7, RPD Public Introduction and Oath of Office. As it turns out, Officer Milovich is still trying to move here. So we'll take care of that at a later date.
Your Honor, I'll move to approve as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Peranto, second by Councilman Bailey. Any discussion or amendments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. So we'll move on to item 8. A minute. I have 2 item 9s. That's okay. Outstanding Young Citizen Award. So, this came to our attention mainly due to a news article, but also had noticed just how well people had been putting items into our pantry. And so had found a little bit about that, had some enterprising young reporters that figured a little bit about it, informed County 10 about it, and from our chief and other members of senior staff had determined it makes sense that we need to recognize our outstanding young citizens. So that's Zendaya, am I saying that right? Okay, good. Zendaya Haynes. So what she's been doing has been selling homemade baked goods and lemonade in the summer, and she's been taking the money for that and getting items for the pantry that we have here at City Hall. She's a kindergartner, okay, and so she's been selling those, still going on, or is that kind of stopped with the winter time?
It stopped with the winter time. There's a few farmers markets that are coming up this month. Just depending whether we'll make them or not, but she's just with the funds that she had saved and still been able to build the pantry weekly.
That is great. So she said cookies are her favorite things to bake with Mom's help. She also makes bread like pumpkin and banana nut. She fills the pantries with foods such as mac and cheese, ramen, and Pop-Tarts. All right. Well, so Zendaya, if you could, why don't you come up to the Are you there?
Hiding.
With your mom.
Why don't you come up here with your mom, and we have a recognition for you, and we have some balloons for you. Do you like balloons? Great.
Right by the
Just meet me right there at the
podium.
Thank you. So these are for you. Well, thank you. You are a great example to everybody here. And I really appreciate seeing how much you care about other people in the community. That is just awesome. You're definitely being raised right and have some good parents, right? Do you want to say anything? What do you want to tell us about kind of maybe what made you start this? Or not? I have a second grader, and he sometimes has a hard time talking in a group of people too, so. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Okay, yeah, it gets a little nerve-wracking. All right, well, I have this. I'm going to sign it right now, and you can take this, and it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. But this says, this certificate is awarded to Zendaya Haynes for exhibiting outstanding leadership and performing extraordinary acts on behalf of others, and whose achievements have greatly enhanced the quality of life in the city of Riverton. I don't think we've ever given one of these out before. So you are the first. So if you have any other friends or something that you think deserve this, let us know. You're now kind of our girl on the street, as it were, okay? All right, I'm going to sign this then, and I'll hand it to you, and they're probably going to want to get a picture of me handing this to you. Do you think you can handle that? I can come around on this side.
Why don't you go in front of the podium so we
You wanna get
can
in front
see
of the
her?
podium? Come on over here. All right, so, going to do it this way.
You can't even see her.
Take this hand. Today, go ahead and take this hand and put it right here, and then look at the camera.
Three, two, one. Perfect.
Stand up.
Way to go. You can't reach up that high, so why don't you go around the back and you can do that? Does that sound good? Great. I'll come with you.
High five.
Mom's going with me.
You can bring mom.
You can punch the man in the red.
Good job.
Hi, sweetheart.
Good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love your necklace.
Thank you very much.
I like your necklace too. That's really sweet.
Thank you so much.
All right, here you go. That's for you. Thank you.
I want to name her Miss Christmas Princess.
Thank you.
I kind of want to give her a hug. You know.
Big day, big day.
All right, well, thank you, Zendaya. You keep on doing wonderful things. We'll keep an eye on, and I'm sure you're going to continue to do that. So thank you for all your hard work and for being a great example to the rest of us, okay? No person is too small to make a big difference. All right.
I just want to know if her brothers make her cook for him is why she started this.
All right. Well, I think that's probably one of the favorite things I've gotten to do at a city council meeting. So thanks for coming, Zendaya. Perfect. All right. Well, I have a proclamation to read. This is about Wreaths Across America. Whereas in 2007, the Worcester family, along with veterans and other volunteers, formed Wreaths Across America to continue and expand a ceremony that began in Arlington. And whereas the nonprofit organization continues the Arlington tradition to honor veterans at cemeteries across the nation as part of its mission to remember, honor, and teach with the help of fundraising groups, corporate and individual contributions, donations, and volunteers. And whereas in 2022, Wreaths Across America National, over 2 million volunteers laid over 2.7 million memorial wreaths in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and countries on foreign soil at over 3,700 locations in the U.S. and beyond. And whereas all wreaths will be laid at exactly the same moment, December 16th, 2023, at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time in Riverton, at grave sites at state and national veteran cemeteries, as well as local cemeteries. And whereas the number of wreaths laid depends upon the number of sponsors, and whereas this is an annual event occurring each December as a veterans outreach program to remind people of how important it is to remember, honor, and teach. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Tim Hancock, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of Riverton, do hereby proclaim Saturday, December 16th, 2023, as Wreaths Across America in Riverton, Wyoming, and urge all citizens to recognize and participate in its observance. All right. I'll get that to you later, Mia. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll move on to the next item. Council committee reports, council members roundtable. Maybe just to mix things up a little bit, go in reverse alphabetical order, which would be Salisbury, Larson.
Salisbury, Toronto, Larson.
Pronto, Larson, I guess you're right. I was backwards there.
No, you're forward.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's just go from that end and go to this end, and let's not test my ability to do the alphabet backwards. Go ahead.
So I haven't had any chamber meetings. I did participate in the finance committee meeting, but I was going to say, last year with a lot of the changes with the chamber, with the TAD monies and agreement, some of the people that thought they had funding did not get accepted for funding, and one of that is our Legion Baseball that pays the umpires for the tournaments they put on, that they were kind of thinking they were going to have funding and they didn't. So we may need to consider that at some point in time and maybe get more information from Councilwoman Cox when she comes back. But I really want to thank our Public Works Director, Brian Eggleston. I'm sure a lot of people will be thanking him tonight, but our staff was out early on Thanksgiving getting our roads cleared, so our main roads actually had some blacktop. I said it kind of looks bad on Federal where it didn't happen and people blame the city, but I'm thankful for all the stuff they've been doing the last couple of weeks and with the water line breaks and the hours. So I want to thank them, and also Chief Hurtado and the police department. If people have been noticing the reports, they've been really busy doing some good things and help making our city a little safer each day. So I appreciate all the work they've been doing. It's been some pretty serious things they've been dealing with, and I really appreciate what they've done too. So the rest of the staff I always appreciate too, but I wanted to recognize those guys.
Thank you very much. All right. Councilman Larson, who is not in reverse alphabetical order from Councilwoman Salisbury.
Okay. You're probably one of those kids that could say the alphabet backwards and halfways and three-quarters. Anyway, I haven't attended any meetings, but I've had several phone calls. The most interesting one was the fire that was in Hudson to a solid waste truck traveling from Riverton to Lander, and it was right there by the bridge. 3 fire trucks from Lander and 3 highway patrol and 2 county mounties. So those trucks cost us about $300,000. And as far as I know, fires are not compatible with trucks. Second thing is, I know that Sister Salisbury gave us the talk about the roads, but, you know, I was out early in the morning, and it was really quite nice that the city of Riverton was, and we'd been told that they were on call and would do that, but it is so nice to drive on some semblance of a road that's been cleaned by a plow going to wherever you've got to go. That is just, extraordinary, and we're still plowing to the center. I realize that they can plow more by going to the curb, but the citizens of Riverton are the ones that are our people that give us direction, and so we're following that as best we can. And, you know, the next thing is, and I'm knocking on wood, we haven't in my area on Aspen or Maple had a water leak during this period of time. And I remember several times where we've had water running from Aspen all the way up, or Maple, and man, it just makes a mess. And it all comes from paying attention to details and doing what you're supposed to do. And our people in Riverton streets and alleys have done their very level best and do not receive enough thank yous for the jobs that they do. They're time-consuming, they're difficult, and most of the time when they're out working, we're not with them in the hole. And they need a pat on the back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Paranto?
Your Honor, the rec board met last night, and just to update some of our account balances, our WyoStar balance is currently $434,373.68, and that's actually a lot of money. And I think we've talked in the recent past about helping fund the soccer fields, and the rec board will be spending about $250,000 of that funding on those soccer fields in combination with some other funds to try to make that happen. So we've actually been looking for, we're not an organization that can save that money. We want to be able to spend it in our community and help our community and help our kids and provide recreation. That's what it's for. So being able to have some in our coffers to where we can fund a big project like this is really, really cool. So we're blessed to have some money, and it's just nice that we have that. On that same side, we allocated about $127,000 this year, and about $40,000 of that has gone unclaimed. Now, the way the rec board works is we pay based on receipts that we collect. So when we fund something, for instance, I don't know, balls or kayaks or uniforms or whatever, we pay those invoices. And it's kind of nice that we have that money that hasn't been expended. In a different environment, we would have given this money out, and 40,000 of it would have been unspent towards the project. So having the accountability of paying on those receipts gives us the ability to have $40,000 that has been unspent that we can now use on something else. So I just wanted to make that known. We also have about $185,905.16 in our checking account. So all in all, we have a little over $500,000. 250 of that is going to be spent on the soccer fields, and then we're still working on some other projects that we're doing. The next meeting will be the 15th of January, and it'll be up at the central office for Fremont County School District 25. And that's our annual presentation meeting where the various groups come and actually present to the rec board for funding for the next year. So I'd encourage everybody to meet us at 6 p.m. on the 15th of January up at central office, and intend on providing us with a presentation on your projects. I also wanted to mention the snow removal and the fact that it's nice to get calls from people actually thanking us for the snow removal as opposed to complaining about all the snow. And that was an immense amount of snow in a short period of time, so you guys did a great job getting that moved. I have a lot of concrete at my house, and I was just trying to find places to put it all. It's kind of nuts, but thank you guys for all the work done there as well. Your Honor, with that, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Bailey?
Thank you. My wife and I had the honor of helping deliver Thanksgiving meals on Thursday, and I think they delivered well over 100 meals to the different people, you know, shut-ins and the people that are on meal assistance and that kind of stuff. And then they fed somewhere over 200 people at the fairgrounds that just came in to eat, and they had a lot of volunteers, and it went really well. And again, it was sort of a consolidated community Thanksgiving dinner instead of, one church doing this and one group doing this and one group doing something else. They all went together, did it together. CWC supplied the kitchen. They went and cooked the whole thing up there. Different groups could sponsor different products. The Rotary Club, for example, did the green bean casserole. Somehow that got to be our thing, I guess. So, and then, they cooked, I think he said 41 turkeys is how many they cooked. So that obviously took some time. So, a lot of people put a lot of work into it, and it really turned out nice, and so it was enjoyable. Then I went over and had turkey at my in-laws' house in Hudson, and on the way home, the city people were out plowing the roads and keeping them open. So again, thank you very much. Did a great job. Somewhere around 2 feet of snow. I spent the next 3 days, me and 4 or 5 other people plowing down on our place alone, trying to keep our place plowed out and the stores and that kind of stuff. And so it's a lot of work, and so we appreciate everything you guys have done. And getting right out and getting the snow picked up out of the middle, I think helps tremendously. It really helps the traffic and people turning off and that kind of stuff. And then when we get a little nice weather like this, it just melts and it's gone, and it really works well. So thank you very much. I think that's the only meeting I had. We've got Force Committee meeting coming up this Monday. Again, they're trying to finalize the plans for the different road projects that we're going to be working on this coming year. They try to get the bids, ready by February, March, so that we can get hopefully very competitive bids if we get in ahead before everybody's all booked up and that kind of stuff. And so they've got a lot of projects planned for next year, a lot of just pavement maintenance, chip sealing and coating and all that kind of stuff, so that, there's a lot of work goes into keeping the streets of Riverton up in ship shape. So, and again, they had a couple of big water breaks, and they got right on those. So it was a busy holiday weekend for everybody involved. So thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Councilwoman Borders.
Your Honor, I have a lot to report tonight. The first thing is I met with the PAWS board earlier, and we're just trying to regroup. They have a lot less animals in the shelter right now than they had at this time last year, so that's always a good thing. They are always needing volunteers to walk dogs and things, so if you're interested, you can give them a call. Let's see, one other exciting thing that I did today, I had a lunch meeting, and it was the first meeting we've had of the new Riverton Police Foundation.
Oh, good.
And it was a great meeting. There's a lot of really great ideas, and we're excited to get that off the ground so we can help, purchase some items for the police. And we want to get a wish list put together from them so we can prioritize that and fundraise and do that kind of stuff. So it's in the works. I just want everybody to know that. Let's see, what did I do next? I had Finance Committee this evening, and of course, that's always interesting to see, where our money goes and see those bills get paid. Let's see, what else? Friday night, the 1st of December, we had the Festival of Trees. The night before that was family night. It was such a excellent event. I can't even say enough about it. I think there were 26 trees there this year, and we had wreaths that we auctioned off. Family night, they did a soup dinner, so everybody that came got in free. We fed them soup, and they got to vote on their favorite tree, and we had face painting and cookie decorating and just all kinds of stuff. So I always love that event. Let's see what's next. Saturday night, I was not able to attend, but they did do the tree lighting, the 6th annual, so that's kind of neat to have that big tree decorated on Main Street. I think for right now, that's all I have.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to mention that I went to the CWC play, and they did an amazing job, so I would highly recommend people taking advantage of that when we have that available. They're gonna have Peter Pan in March, I think.
Yep.
So they did a great job. It was a really great, it was a Christmas carol. Fits with the season, so, but lots of participants, and they did a great job presenting, so.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I do have one more thing, and
Go
I
on.
I can't go without saying thank you. I know everyone else has thanked you, but the city crews are phenomenal. When we're all nice and cozy and warm in our beds, they're out working, they're out moving snow. And I think they really deserve some recognition, and I appreciate you
We appreciate,
and all your guys.
we appreciate them, and they appreciate your support.
All right, Mr. Butterfield.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a few things, and I think it is appropriate to communicate our gratitude for all the community activities that are going on. You as a council have already mentioned a few, and I think it's a testament to me of our community and the many people that volunteer and the positive things that are going on, so I appreciate that. Along those lines, I'd like to announce that the airport will be hosting a fly-in. We've been told that a special visitor from the North Pole will be coming on December 16th and landing at 3:15. Families are invited to come at 3 o'clock. Word is that Santa needs to give a break to his reindeer, so they're prepared on the 25th. But he does want to come down and visit the airport and see how things are going. So we do want to invite the community up to the airport on December 16th at 3 o'clock for hot chocolate, candy canes, some coloring, and obviously an opportunity to talk to Santa Claus. There will be a Fix Our Road Citizen Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, as Councilman Bailey mentioned. That is here at City Hall, and the public is welcome to attend, especially as priorities are being established for next year's construction season. That is 11 o'clock at the bullpen. Next Friday, December 15th, there will be an airport board here in City Hall at the council chambers at 8 a.m. And then this Thursday at 5:30, there will be a planning commission meeting, and the commission will be considering a rezone and then also a change to ordinance as it relates to the travel trailers and mobile home parks. Would like to remind you that the WAM Winter Conference is coming up, and an email was sent, so if you do have an interest in attending that, please let me know and we'll work on the logistics. This is a valuable one for council members to attend because it does also coincide with the legislative session. So if you do have interest, please let me know and we'll definitely get you registered for it. In your consent agenda are 3 items that I want to make note of as part of my report. These are grants that our police department has been actively pursuing. And pursuant to our grant policy, we want to make sure that we bring these to you and then also let the community know of the hard work that members of our department are doing in seeking grants. This ranges from one of our dispatchers, Sarah Nelson. She was in today talking about a grant. Officer Donneth Kamara specifically has been seeking some grants, and these are the ones that are on your consent agenda. Chief Hurtado is actively doing, and I'd be remiss to not mention Miss Mia Harris as well, because she's engaged in all of these activities and does a wonderful job administering and watching our grants. The first in your consent agenda is a grant for a little over $5,000 from the Lieutenant Dan Foundation. This is something Officer Neth Kamara was able to identify and apply for and receive. What this will do is provide first aid kits to our officers, 10 for vehicles and 20 for individual first aid kits. Not only does this serve our community, but it also helps protect our officers so that they do have the necessary equipment and first aid supplies available if there ever is a need for themselves as well. So we do want to say thank you for that, and again, that's on your consent agenda. The next one on your consent agenda is from T-Mobile. T-Mobile actually is partnering to give first responders funds so that they have dedicated lines in order to maintain service, especially when call volumes are high and towers are not responding as much as they should. Again, Officer Neth Kamar was able to work with T-Mobile and receive funds to have 23 SIM cards issued to our sworn officers. And in conjunction with this, we have two community members that helped purchase the cell phones. Bott Monument donated funds, and then one of our elected officials also donated funds for that. But this is an opportunity to allow for our officers to communicate better and not use their personal cell phones, and again, have better service from T-Mobile. The third one on your consent agenda is from the United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, and this was for 3 sets of point-blank body armor. This was, again, the efforts of Don Nethakamara, and I want to say thank you to him for reaching out, finding these funds, and securing equipment for the police department. If you do have questions on those, you can bring them off consent if that's if that is your desire. A few other items that I want to bring up, especially as we're talking about the police department. We had another successful DUI task force working the weekend and saw collaboration from several of our local law enforcement entities, and we appreciate the work of our chief in making sure that that was a success. And then tomorrow, we do have physical tests, PT tests, for applicants for patrol officer and also for our CSO position that is new. And we hope to have some success in that and welcome new employees to our department. It's already been mentioned, there were 2 water breaks over the Thanksgiving holiday, one of which was near Maverick, and I commend the crews for being responsive. That happened over the holiday, and they were able to neck the water down or reduce the water enough to allow services to remain through the holiday weekend, and then crews came in first of the week and repaired it. And just as luck has it, as soon as they finished repairing that, another significant water break was identified. This was on a 24-inch line that serves between our 2 million gallon tank at the water treatment plant and the 2 million gallon tank on Airport Road. The break was initially discovered by our water treatment plant crews when they saw a massive pressure drop and volume of water leave the tanks. And to put it in perspective, in just a very short time, 1 million gallons of water moved through that break. And thank goodness we have crews that are attentive to that. They were able to mobilize, isolate, shut it down, and then start working on a repair. And it was only today that we were able to identify the break happened underneath the canal. If you think where Cowboy Lane and Cooper is, there is a section of that 24-inch line that sleeves underneath the canal, and that pipe sheared there. We think it was the result of a water hammer. A contractor is working on that, and we appreciate the prompt response. And folks that were being serviced by that transmission line or off of that transmission line have been given temporary water and have been able to work with crews to take showers and do dishes and everything else that we need at our homes. Finally, I do think it's appropriate to highlight our employees. I appreciate the words that have been given to our Public Works Department, but we also had employees from building maintenance out, plowing snow. We had our first responders, our police officers working the holiday, and I do appreciate the commitment that we have from our staff. It is seen in the level of service they provide. And I think it's important that the community feels that they can provide us feedback, especially as we respond to future snowstorms. Winter's just starting, and we'll continue to provide service, and we encourage our residents to reach out to myself, our Public Works Director, Brian Eggleston, if they ever do have concerns. We follow our snow removal policy and plan, and we do our best to provide a high level of service, but we are willing to take feedback, and we want to make sure people know that. To that end, I do want to give a little bit of time to Mr. Eggleston to give us a bit of report on the snow removal efforts and his plans moving forward. This recent storm was one where several variables were, I think, a challenge to respond to. One, obviously, was the record amount of snow that was received. The second that isn't as easily identifiable is the warm temperatures that led up to the storm. The surface temperatures were quite warm, and so you had an issue where ice was able to build up faster than normal because when the snow hit, it melted, And then you had a situation where the temperatures dropped very quickly, and so you almost had a flash freeze. And so we've seen areas of town where that ice buildup has been thicker than normal. Some of it has to do with the snow and the volume of snow we received. Some of it has to do with the temperatures that led up to the storm quickly dropped, and then now we're warming up again, and we might as well give thanks to Mother Nature for doing that, as we're throwing thanks around. But I do want to say thank you because our crews have been dedicated, and if it's okay, Mayor, I'll defer to Mr. Eggleston for the remainder of my report.
Sounds good. Thank you. Mr. Eggleston.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Mr. Butterfield. As you're aware, on Thanksgiving Day, our crews responded to massive snow that lasted really over 24 hours. They initiated operations at 1 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day and continued around the clock until about 2 p.m. on Friday the 24th, when they had the primary routes opened and safe for traffic to move down. Since that storm, they actually, in the snow plowing and sanding arena, they clocked 296 man-hours doing plowing and sanding. The remainder of the time, this last week and a half or week or so, has been removal. And we've got about 238 man-hours tied up in that. Crews have been coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning and working as quickly as they can before traffic starts picking up. And it really helps them to just have clear areas to work in. But so far, this storm, and we're not done yet, but they've accumulated 534 total man-hours dedicated to just the snow removal. And as of 5 o'clock tonight, had removed 3,701,700 pounds of snow off our roads.
Oh,
We also spread, during the initial attack and maintaining the roads, 42 tons of ice slicer as of 5 o'clock tonight. It's a significant endeavor.
Yes.
And
A lot.
the crews did it with a smile on their face for the most part.
I was going to say, I think around the second 1,000,000 pounds of snow, that might start changing.
We still have some snow left, too.
Yeah, that's not gone yet.
Well, thank you, Mr. Eggleston. I really appreciate that, and I would echo what has been said about appreciation for our snow crews, and echo what has been said about, you know, our snow removal plan is something that we're willing to look at, we're willing to consider, and we had a meeting about it just a few months ago, and I definitely encourage feedback, positive or negative. I'm really glad that there's others on the council that have had positive feedback. That's always nice. But I definitely think I would encourage getting a hold of our city administrator, public works director, to talk about what's going on. If you're got a spot that's a little bit different or whatever, feel free to reach out. We'd want to hear from you. 856-2227. That's the number for the main line. That'll probably get a hold of Max. Well, actually, not Max anymore. Chelsea. Yeah. That wasn't your number. I didn't just get somebody to call you. I guess one of the things I want to bring up is we have a lot of people that work hard in all areas in the city, and I really appreciate that. Mia has had quite a few openings in her department, and so she's been hard at work on training and getting people ready to go. Same thing with a lot of things that have been coming up with Mr. Miller in the Community Development Department. I know that we've been singing the praises of the Public Works Department and the Police Department, and they deserve it, and certainly appreciate them. I also would want to say that I appreciate all that your department does, Mr. Miller, and what your department does as well, Ms. Harris, because plowing, definitely something that needs recognition. Being up early in the morning and doing that, wow, that's huge. Working through the night, as our police officers do. That's huge. But everybody has different ways that they serve, and I really appreciate the service that everybody provides. Would note that we did have, as I think Mr. Bailey said, or maybe it was Mr. Butterfield, we had the DUI task force out. Really appreciate their hard work. Someone was asking, you know, how could that be something that's helpful when all they got was one DUI? And I get that. I understand that. But they made 67 stops over the period of time. And so the only way you're ever going to be able to really find DUIs is stopping people. They would be stopping people for traffic infractions, whatever it might be. I will say that I think that the presence of police officers makes a big difference. Last time, we had noted that over a Friday, we had one call for service. And what that means is that citizens that ran into some sort of an issue, there was only one that needed to call the police. Other than that, because of proactive efforts by the police, we didn't have a lot of calls, which is a good thing. And then this weekend, we had 5 calls for service, which is also very rare to have that few of calls for service. And so I really appreciate the hard work of the DUI task force, and I appreciate what they've been doing. I enjoyed the Christmas tree lighting. That was a good opportunity. The Grinch tried to take that away and was stopped. We did have a little bit of a delay in getting the lights on, but we got it figured out. I had the opportunity to go to the community meal for Thanksgiving, and I really appreciate all the people that put a lot of work into that. I think there was actually 60 turkeys that were cooked.
It may have been, yeah.
I think that Alma Law was responsible for the 41. And he was responsible for a lot of the work that went into that, as well as the Set Free Church, as well as the different social clubs that we have in Riverton, different groups that I'm probably not aware of all the work that they put into it. The Mennonites were given a lot of pumpkin, and they made 100 homemade pumpkin pies. So I should have taken one. I was offered one while I was there. I should have taken them up on the offer. But it was a really great event. I really appreciate that we had so many people that showed up. I hope that it becomes an annual thing. I think we should do what we can to support that. Oh, Soldier's House was also behind that. They were definitely behind that as well, and then Key Club. But it was a great event. I hope we can continue to do that, and strongly encourage folks to support it. Sometimes we have one year that we get a lot of people that are willing to volunteer, and then in future years it doesn't happen. I mean, we used to have, for example, the Wild West Winter Carnival. We don't have that anymore. We just ran out of people that were able or willing to volunteer. And so I really do think we should encourage folks to be involved in that and help how you can. I guess that's really all from me. I just really enjoyed spending Thanksgiving with the family and being able to drive on roads. Not my own road. I had to kind of get out a shovel to get out of my own road, but that's the issue of living in a cul-de-sac, I guess. So, all right. Well, that's it for that. We'll move on to communication from the floor, citizens' comments. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on an item that's scheduled for a public hearing will be given an opportunity to speak during that public hearing. Generally speaking, if it's something not even scheduled for a public hearing, if you want to chime in on something that's on the agenda, feel free, just raise your hand and we'll usually give you an opportunity to speak on it. But if you want to speak on another item that's not scheduled for a hearing or that's not on the agenda, I'd encourage you to come up. I'd ask you to leave your comments to about 5 minutes for individuals. If you're a part of a group, I'd ask you to split it up between you and the other members of the group for 10 minutes. But as you come up to the podium, try to get to where you can make sure you're close enough to the mic. Tell us your name, tell us an individual, or tell us what group you're with, and feel free. The time is yours. Anybody that wants to speak. All right. We have such a large audience today. I'm not trying to pressure anybody to do it. You can definitely stand up.
Good evening. My name is Tate Tans. I met with the mayor about middle of last winter, about a couple of things that I questioned with the school district and everything, but I'm not here to do anything other than the pulse of the citizens aren't what you guys believe. I promise you that. I was born and raised in Riverton, born in Lander, raised in Riverton, spent 18 years here. I left for 26 years. I was in the Navy, retired as a CW03, came back here in February of last year, official retirement date of 1 May 2022. There's a lot that's happening and not happening here, and I'll definitely be getting in touch with you, Mr. Butterfield, and probably back in touch with you, Mayor, because I think some stuff needs to be covered, and I don't know if nobody's listening, because I've been here for 2 years almost, and I only know the mayor's face. I don't know anybody else's face, and I think there's a huge problem with that, because you guys are officials, correct? I don't know any of you. Yes, some of that's my fault too. I work over at Rocky Mountain Discount Sports. I work 2-3 days a week. I'm retired. I don't have to work. I want to work. I have no issues working. But at the same time, this whole meeting has been about, oh, attaboy, Bravo Zulu, you guys are doing awesome. You guys, when does the bad come out? I deployed 9 times, 9. And with every victory, there's always something bad that goes wrong. I've seen death. I've seen loss. I've seen some bad stuff. But in that bad stuff is when good stuff happens too. You got to reverse the tables a little bit. It's not about, oh, somebody did good, somebody did this, somebody good on your crews. That's awesome. But it's their job, just like it was my job. I didn't get that when I came back and I missed Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day. I would be deployed from July to May, typically. And I don't need any recognition for that. That was my job. I was proud to do it. I was proud to do what I did. I regret nothing. It's just something for some of you all to also consider. That's all I've got. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Your Honor, I'd like to respond to that. One of the reasons that we changed the agenda to have the positive comments before the public comment is so you could understand some of the great things that are going on. And then if you still have issues, you can come up and you can, we all have our phone numbers posted on the website. We're all out in the community all the time. I spent my day at 4 meetings, plus I worked all day. That's just an example. I don't want thanks, but I think the public needs to understand what everyone up here does. We don't do this for political reasons. We don't do this because there's something in it for us. I do it because I give a crap.
Well, you're mad for the wrong reasons, Ms. Borders.
Pardon me?
You're upset for the wrong reasons.
I'm not upset.
I'm just trying to make the point.
Pointing out why we did what we did.
I'm just trying to
because we had people come up and complain for 2 hours. So we thought, let's reverse it. Let's show the positive stuff. We're not trying to give attaboys and pats on the back to each other. We're trying to inform the public what's going on. And that's the extent of my comment.
Okay.
Your Honor, I want to respond to. I know what you're talking about for the last 2 years, and part of the reason why I brought up the police tonight is because we've had a lot of crime, a lot of stuff. And the reason I brought it up tonight is I'm sure that you see like the police reports.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, part of the reason why I brought it up is because by them actually being out there, as you can see, some of the pullovers were really serious, crazy things.
Sure, and I think that's wonderful.
And we need more of it because, I walk all over, I walk and stuff, and even last summer, I didn't feel safe because of, our last meeting, we got out at 10:30 or 11:30, and when Councilwoman Cox and I were going to our cars, we had some people that were inebriated or on stuff that were trying to, hey lady, hey, so we have a lot more to work on, but the only reason I brought it up tonight is because they're doing something so they can find some of the I mean, we have a long ways to go, but that's why I brought it up tonight, because they are actually finding people by being more proactive a little bit. I mean, that's why, because I think everybody up here knows the problems. But I appreciate you coming tonight, and I appreciate you sharing with that and all the service you've done as well. And I agree with you also, you know, it is their job, but I appreciate it because I was in with my warm fire and they were out at 3 a.m. And I appreciate the service of your service as well, and I'm glad we have people that care enough in our community to come sit and listen to us and listen for all the things that are going on. And please keep sharing and keep letting us know what we can do to make it. We want this to be the best community in Wyoming.
As do I.
I know, and
Do I.
we have so much to offer, but we have a lot of things to make it where people want to be here too. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tans. Appreciate it and appreciate your service. And
Thanks.
feel free to call up anytime. All right. Consent agenda. Would the Administrative Services Director please read the consent agenda items by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, November 21st, 2023, regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, November 21st, 2023, executive session. Approval of the minutes, December 5th, 2023, Finance Committee meeting. Approval of the Finance Committee recommendations, December 5th, 2023. Approval of the municipal court report for the month of November 2023. Gary Sinise Police Department Grant Award, T-Mobile for Government Program, and United States Deputy Sheriff's Association donation.
Any other items requiring further discussion? Yes.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee met earlier this evening. We agreed to consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $2,792.83, manual checks in the amount of $8,515.85, payroll and liabilities for 11/3, 11/17, and 12/1/2023, to be paid in the amount of $234,772.08, for a total of $2,244,080.76.
Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bailey with the motion, Councilman Paranto with the second. Any discussion, amendments?
Your Honor, I'd like to abstain from any warrants paid, traveling computers, or Wyoming.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
of that 2 million plus, one of that came from the airport, which we are subsequently, we received 98% back. It's a 2%, so it's a win-win for us. So, I mean, it wasn't a $2 million outlay that we didn't get value for.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I appreciated that. I was in the Finance Committee meeting, and that was good to hear that. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Bid award, AT&T Lift Station. Public Works Director's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor and Council. Before you tonight is a request for a bid award for the A&T Sewer Lift Station. It's located down on Arapahoe and Comanche, kind of in that intersection down there. That lift station is the largest of 4 lift stations in the city. Generally moves on, during the off-peak seasons, 300,000 gallons of water a day. It's designed to be a 2-pump system for redundancy. It's only functioning now with 1 pump. The other pump has been out of service for a little while now. The original pumps were German-made pumps, and since 2020, the pump parts and availability of those parts have been troublesome to get, if at all. We went out to bid in November on this project. Received 2 bids, and this is based, early estimates when we started putting this project together, budget estimates totaled $130,000 this spring when we were working on the budget. The bid opening was November 16th. We received 2 bids, one from Jerry Bornhoff Construction, amount of $302,916. And the second bid was from Viper Underground for $245,500. Obviously, this is over our budgeted amount, so we went into our capital in the wastewater side and identified what we had spent thus far and where we could come up with some additional funding. And throughout that process, we came up with all the money with the exception of the $54,459.72 that we could absorb in this current budget. After reviewing our cash position in our wastewater fund, we are able to cover that with unobligated cash out of the wastewater fund to cover that amount and move this project forward. It's a critical piece. We've got to move on it. And I appreciate any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Mr. Larson?
I was just wondering, when you mentioned that amount of water is, there's not that many people in that area.
That area collects the sewer from Gardens North, A&T
and-
Trailer Park, kind of that northeastern part of the city,
So Redwood Road, all of that area?
and then pushes it over the hill down to where it can gravity feed into the sewer plant.
I was hoping that wasn't picking up groundwater through some source.
Nope, it's a sealed system.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve a notice of award to Viper Underground in the amount of $245,500 for the A&T Sewer Lift Station Replacement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Larson, second by Councilman Bailey. Any other discussion, questions, amendments?
How are we off so far? 130 versus 240.
Mr. Eggleston?
That's a good question. Myself and our engineer have looked at that as well. I'm not convinced that the prices we didn't get this spring only included the materials. We were banking on the fact that the contractor and the labor was built into those prices as well, but there's also been a significant increase in the lag time in actually getting the parts, so those types of materials, everything's a crapshoot right now.
Has been for a long time.
He used that expression, by the way, when he was talking about sewer. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Oh, no pun intended.
Oh, it was.
And taken.
I missed that, Your Honor.
Well, at 300,000 gallons a day, that would make quite a mess if that other pump goes down, so.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And this is just phase one, is that correct? We still have to have phase two next year?
The idea on this project, when it started, was to replace both pumps that are submersible now. We're going to replace them with above-ground pumps. We also wanted them inside some sort of a shelter with a backup generator, just in case the power goes offline down there, and also fence off the area. So we'll look in budget planning next year and see how much of this we can move forward.
Okay.
The pumps definitely need to be done.
Well, I mean, you want to be able to flush your toilet and have it go somewhere.
Correct.
Away.
Yeah, go somewhere out of your house. Well, I appreciate it. All right, any other discussion, comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Funding agreement, Riverton Youth Soccer Association, Mr. Butterfield.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be brief since this has come before you in the past, but as a reminder, in March of '23, Riverton Youth Soccer went to the EDGE Committee with a request for $125,000 to purchase land for the development of a new soccer complex. The council did discuss this and the EDGE recommendation on August 1st and October 17th. After you received additional information from staff about the future maintenance of the proposed facility, the council unanimously voted to award the funds to Riverton Youth Soccer and direct staff to prepare a funding agreement. That agreement is attached in your packet and outlines the provisions whereby the funds would be distributed and then also the conditions associated therewith. If you do have any questions, we'd be happy to stand for them. And I would like to note that the president of the association is here in the audience as well, Mr. Despain.
Thank you, sir. Chair would entertain a motion to approve an agreement for use of economic development tax funds between the City of Riverton and Riverton Youth Soccer Association.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Borders with the motion, Councilman Bailey with the second. Any discussion, amendments?
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
With School District 25 giving $250,000 and City of Riverton $125,000, what is the project gonna cost totally?
It's in your packet.
$500,000?
375,000 is the
$500,000,
proposal.
yeah.
If you go down a little more, it has it,
I don't want to go down any farther.
well, it shows.
They do have in the project narrative a little bit about what they've got planned. I know that this is meant to be pretty much a start for things, and that they have envisioned in the future also having an indoor facility. Mr. Despain, do you want to?
I can answer any questions you guys have.
You might be better equipped to handle the question as to the total cost of the project and everything.
All right. So, with our total cost and everything for the project, and our ultimate goal is to have a multi-sports complex. We did start with associating with hockey. 2 years ago, we were working with them, and then that all fell apart. So we decided to take this endeavor on ourselves. We have put in for EDGE grants in the past and have been denied because of lack of, I guess, accommodating their requirements. This year, we did come up with the plausibility and everything to reach their agreement, so we got approved through the EDGE, which then you guys voted on. Total cost for the whole thing, we're looking close to, like Councilman Larson said, it's gonna be about $500,000. This first stage is our first step. It'll be 2 complete soccer fields for older kids, U14 and up, which will include high school kids and college, with a parking lot, and we will be drilling a well, like it does state in here, to accommodate for the irrigation and water usage. We're working with everybody. We're working with the school up on the airport hill. They're going to plan on doing all the dirt work for us and creating more job opportunities for the construction companies that we acquire throughout this project. Yeah, I think that's about all I got. It's something we really need. Like with our tournament and everything, we have to CWC, the the high school. Then we have Ryan Park that we use. So we are spread throughout the whole community with our whole tournament, and we're trying to centralize our everything. With the purchase of this land, it will be right across the street from Ryan Park. It'll be right in Ash Grove. We can utilize their parking lot, or not Ash Grove, sorry, Willow Creek. And we plan on going bigger throughout the time. This is just our first stage of our project. Our ultimate goal is an indoor facility to host a huge indoor tournament, kind of like Turf Wars, which we have coming at the end of December down in Laramie.
Great.
So,
Good to hear. Mr. Bailey?
sir.
When you do get ready to do an indoor facility, will that lot accommodate that? And how much do you think that's gonna be, give or take? And I know that number's,
That
only
number,
knows what.
that number can range it goes up with what we would love to do a multi-sport. Our whole goal in the beginning was to have half hockey, half soccer indoor, have a field for hockey or a ice rink for hockey for them to do. And then we'd have a field on the other side with concessions and bathrooms and locker rooms and everything. That's our ultimate goal. Price on that, we haven't even touched on that really. I know hockey side is over 500,000 just on the hockey side if we do put a rink in there. But our ultimate goal is
we need soccer fields. We need something for the community. We need something for the kids. We're running out of room. All our city parks can't really accommodate the big fields that we need. And with CWC starting their own team and everything, utilizing their fields is becoming harder and harder because they play at the same time we do. So trying to get us up there, and we compete with fields around here for everybody. Everybody wants the grass, and our parks are really nice, so. And our ultimate goal is to host our 2025 tournament on these new fields with the project being completed.
That property gives you enough room to grow.
Yes, it does. It's
There's
a
plenty of.
little less than 11 acres is what we'll be purchasing right there on the corner by Willow Creek and I guess what that building on the corner used to be Lincare, I think, or the oxygen place. So right by TNT.
Okay.
And I would say I appreciate that Guard Enterprises, the ones that currently hold the ground,
Yes, sir.
have been willing to give you a significant discount on that price.
Significant. We are purchasing the property for $150,000, estimated value of the 400. So
Good deal.
donating the rest of the property or the rest of the value to us.
Good deal.
Your Honor, I had a question. So I've seen a lot of people with questions about Ryan Park and if you plan to keep that and utilize that.
Yeah, we still definitely are going to have to utilize that. And that was kind of, so I took over presidency 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. From all the backstory I got about Ryan Park, it's kind of the same endeavor that the soccer club did with the city. Is it was dedicated and built for soccer. There's no playground down there. There's nothing like that. It's not, I don't consider it a park, kids park. It's more of a big grass area that we play on. And so that's kind of where we're shooting at this. It's going to be multi-use. CWC, the high school, has places to play. Any club and so that's where we're at with it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
It'll be an attraction to Riverton.
Yeah.
Will be.
And I think what we have in the MOU is the plan to have this be completed by 2025, and you're saying you want to get your tournament there in 2025?
Yep, it'll be April of that year is our tournament.
So the plan is, it says, complete the project no later than January of 2025, and then starting with 2025, having an additional tournament each year.
Yes, sir.
That sounds
Our
good.
goal is to have 2 tournaments a year. Casper does it. A lot of the towns around here, or around the state do it. And with the revenue and everything that brings in, we book, for our 1 tournament a year, we book every hotel in Fremont County, so.
It's great. Good.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, appreciate you answering our questions, Mr. Despain.
Thank you
Thank you.
for your time.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. EAP contract consideration. City Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before you is a opportunity to renew an employee assistance program that we've been running since 2015 at the city. The company that has provided that service is Employee Services LLC, and we'll refer to them as ESI hereinafter. And for those that don't know, an EAP is a workplace service that helps employees and also their families cope with crisis or other stress-related situations. It's similar to an insurance program that may have counseling services tied to it, and it's important to note that, as such, our employees who may opt out of health insurance because they may have a partner or a spouse that offers it, they are still covered under the EAP program. As I mentioned, we've been with ESI since 2015, and a lot of credit for that goes to Kristen Watson and Stephen Weaver. I remember being in those meetings back in the day, and I believe this is a valuable service to offer to our employees. The services that ESI offers, and again, the contract is in your packet and has more detail, but at a high level, unlimited access for telephonic counseling, up to 3 face-to-face counseling visits per employee, per issue. And it doesn't stop there. There's usually a soft handoff to another counselor that's within our insurance network. But this, under the EAP program, gets the service started. There's also wellness resources, an online portal that provides, there are literally thousands of videos for training as it relates to wellness, professional development, financial advice. anything else that may be of need for our employees and also their families. There's also access to an attorney through this program. And it goes beyond in the sense that there's an opportunity to receive personal and professional coaching. That's through an appointment. And then there's also a portal for supervisors to receive assistance and direction for HR issues and other issues as it relates to supervising other employees. Confidentiality is always maintained when employees use the EAP service. In fact, the city only receives a report of the number of employees that utilize it, never the names, never the issue. I think confidentiality is pretty important when we offer this type of service. As it shows, the service is based on a per employee fee. We do have it in the budget, and we do recommend that this service be renewed. And as with before, I'll stand for any questions if you have them.
Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to approve a contract agreement between the City of Riverton and Employee Services LLC, doing business as ESI Employee Assistance Group, and provide signatory authority to the city administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Paranto with the motion, Councilman Bailey with the second. Discussion, amendments, questions, comments?
Sounds like a great program.
I'll tell you, it's really easy to sign up. We were talking about it at the senior staff meeting, and I got on and signed up within 5 minutes. Very convenient, easy to get into it. And they even have videos about, like, pet care. And they have a lot of different stuff on there. So, you're welcome to use it, too.
Great. You saying I need therapy?
Yeah, basically. Just about anybody can use it.
Basically.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right, I think we don't have an executive session planned?
No.
Great. It is the very late hour of 8:12 PM. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Larson with the motion. Councilwoman Salisbury with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. All opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Motion passes at 8:12 PM.